What's up, guys? It's 𝗙 back with another video. I want to talk about something today. This is going to be a little bit different because I know I don't usually talk about techniques. And that's not because I don't like techniques. I think techniques can be incredibly powerful, very helpful. But I do tend to think people have a very different understanding when I want to say they operate or do these sort of techniques like affirmations and things based on a very false premise. They think that it's about doing them in order to make something happen. In other words, if I repeat this often enough, then my specific person will come back magically. If I visualize this often enough, then things will unfold exactly as my visualization said it would. Now, that could happen, right? But really the idea is, and so many people misunderstand this, the idea of any of these kinds of techniques, scripting, affirming, visualizing, all that kind of stuff, is about getting yourself aligned with your desire, right? Because we talk about law of attraction. I may have mentioned this before. It's really kind of a misnomer. You know, we talk about it, we use that term because it's so easily recognizable, right? And it's such an easily recognizable term that everyone kind of knows about, that it's really the best thing to use even when you're using titles and videos to help people find your videos and your material. You know, law of attraction this, law of attraction that. It's permeated the culture so much that it's kind of the only understanding that people have about this stuff. You know, I must attract that thing which is over there and not here where I am right now. But really what's happening, and I've said this before, what really the case is, of course, that the moment your desire is born, the moment you can even conceive of it or imagine it, it exists already in that moment. There's really not much more for you to do at that point except to get yourself energetically aligned and focused upon that outcome, which already exists. And that way you pull it into something solid, into a solid hear it, feel it, taste it, touch it state, right? Hear it, did I say hear it? All the senses, that's how you want to experience your desire, right? You don't want it out there in that hazy state. I say that infinite field of possibilities because that's where it exists right now. You are the last cooperative component in bringing it into fruition, bringing it into a solid physical state where you can perceive it with your physical senses. All right, that's what you want. You want to be able to perceive it with your physical senses, and you want others to be able to perceive it with their physical senses. To say, hey man, nice girlfriend, nice boyfriend, you know, nice pile of money you got there, nice new car, that's a great house you got, right? You want that as well. You want that feedback system. You want the feedback system of your 3D physical reality to reflect back to you something that you, in your mind, is solid, right? But the thing about it is, if you keep thinking of it in terms of it being out there somewhere and then you must sort of pull it towards you, what's really happening is that you are trying to pull yourself towards it. In other words, there is attraction involved in that sense, but really what you're doing is you're lining up with it, right? And really what that means is, and there's a difference between asking mode and receiving mode, receptive mode, right? Because asking mode is where most of us are in. We perceive of the desire, we decide what we want, and then we do all these things to try to bring it about, including repeating affirmations all the time, including visualizing all the time. And I've had clients tell me that they, you know, I repeat my affirmations 200 times a day. And it's like, well, you don't really need to make it work. I mean, you don't need to make it feel like it's work or feel like it's a chore. And it's okay to not do that every day, not repeat them every day. The idea is not to do these things just to make this outcome happen. But that's, of course, also feeling that you need to do these things to make something happen, or if you don't or do them or fail to do them regularly or every day, it's also still being in asking mode. And a lot of times the way you guys affirm, and you write me this in your emails, is still being in asking mode. I must repeat what I want to the universe because the universe is going to forget. It's not going to know what I want. And of course, that's not the case. The moment you conceived of what you wanted, boom, it existed. And all that's happening now is your inner being is guiding you consistently, constantly, by communicating with you through your emotions on whether you're on the path of what you want or not, right? If you feel terrible about having a certain thought, that's your inner being communicating with you directly, letting you know that thought is not in alignment with your desire. think a different thought. Then as you think different thoughts, you can feel when a thought feels better. Oh, that thought feels much better. Now that's your inner being communicating with you saying, yes, now you're moving in the direction of what you want. So it's about aligning yourself in any given moment. And one of the biggest things about manifesting, one of the biggest steps about manifesting, and maybe I haven't talked about this yet, is to move from that asking mode into that receptive mode. And like I said, you are the last cooperative component. Everything is already lined up and in place and ready to go. You're the one that has to be on the same level with it. You have to change your perception to be on the perceptive level of it, on the energetic level of it, okay? So how do you do that, all right? And I'm going to give you some techniques, because really what this is about is learning to be in the moment. That's very important, because as receptive mode is really simple. It really means just stop asking. When you get past the point where you feel the need to do affirmations all the time, where you feel the need to visualize and script all the time, where you feel the need to constantly think about what you want, constantly ask, where is it? Constantly check around, where is it? It's not happened yet. Count the days and weeks and months and years since you've been asking. The thing is, as long as you're asking, that's all that you're going to be manifesting. Situations that keep you asking, keep you looking around, wondering, where is it, right? So you want to get past that point at some point. You want to really get yourself aligned with the moment. You want to get yourself to a point where you go, okay, you know what, I've done all the asking now. What I want is out there. It's already formulated and set up for me in the perfect way, in the perfect timing. Now I gotta just step away and stop interfering with the process. Stop trying to get their attention all the time. Stop doing this all the time. And I gotta learn to be in the moment and to be about myself. Now, of course, focusing on yourself is something I stress very, very much and very often in my videos, that you need to focus on yourself and not so much on them. But another important thing is, and I know this is kind of long-winded again, but I'm getting around to the point of this video, but another important thing is to learn to ground yourself and to be in the moment, okay? Now, that's an important step, and a lot of that has to do with, of course, sort of meditating techniques, right? Because when you learn to be in the moment completely and entirely, that's when you are actually practicing being in receptive mode, okay? And when you're in that mode, when you're completely fully immersed in the moment, any given moment throughout your day, any given activity throughout your day, you're not thinking so much about them, your desire manifesting, where is it, okay? What you're doing is you're really living moment to moment, fully and completely, with your total, utter awareness, all right? And participation, okay? And that is you living your life. That's what it is. There's nothing more to being in receptive mode. You've wished it, you've put it into the ether out there, it's created, you have the desire, you've set your intentions. Really, all you need to do now is just live your life and watch it all fall together, okay? I almost said fall apart. Ooh, that would have thrown you for a loop, huh? All right. So, I think this might be Tarkan's first technique video. Maybe not, I can't remember. But I want to give you a couple of simple techniques that you can use to be in the moment, to ground yourself, especially at those times when you're really finding your mind racing and should I call them, should I do this, where are they, what are they doing right now, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling worried about it, I'm feeling doubtful about it, will it ever come to pass, and and you feel that nervousness, right? And sometimes it's not so easy for people to just sit down every day and close their eyes and meditate. I'll visualize about this now, I'll calm myself down, calm my mind down, but really it's not working because you're just thinking about them and it all the time, right? The thing that you want. So, here's a method of meditating that I personally like very much. I actually learned this back when I went to art school. Yes, I went to art school years ago in San Francisco. One of my professors there actually took us all outside, and he had us just close our eyes and be silent. Now that seems like a basic meditation technique, but really what you're doing in this meditation, it's like a sensory meditation. So what you're doing is you're really, at this point, paying attention to your senses, to feeling anything that you're feeling in that moment, to smelling anything that you're smelling in that moment. But he specifically was guiding us to listening all right? He said, I want you to close your eyes so that your vision isn't distracted. You're not distracted by what you're seeing. And I want you to just for 5 to 10 minutes, do nothing but listen to every sound around you, okay? Now, do this with your television off or your stereo off. I would urge you, to even go outside and do this if you can. Go into your backyard, on your balcony, your front porch, go out on the street and just stand there and close your eyes for a minute. Actually, do it for 5 minutes, do it for 10 minutes, and just listen to every sound that you can possibly pick up. And you'll be surprised at things that you suddenly start hearing, that suddenly come into your auditory awareness that you weren't hearing before. Maybe there's some bird off in the distance. You'll notice that you can hear things much further away than you even realized you were hearing, right? There's a baby over there somewhere. It's laughing. There's a crow over there. What's that sound? That sounds like somebody tapping on something. Or, there's a guy practicing his flute, or something, maybe like 3 blocks away, right? There's the breeze rustling through the leaves, through the trees. You can hear the traffic. You can hear children laughing and playing. You can hear people talking. You suddenly become immersed in this world of sound, right? And it's an incredible feeling when you come out of that and you open your eyes again. You feel so much more present, right? So much more in the moment. And it's a powerful technique. There's really not much more to it than that, really. And you practice this, if you practice this regularly, you can go back to it easily. And of course, everything gets easier with practice, right? I always say that. So if you do it repeatedly, then it will become easier, and you find yourself doing this automatically, right? This is something that you put into your arsenal, into your tool chest, your toolbox for grounding yourself and pulling yourself into the moment. So try it sometime, and try it next time that you're really feeling kind of anxious and worried, and you're thinking too much about the future, you're worrying too much about the past. What you're doing in that moment is you're not being present. So pull yourself and do some of the sensory meditation and pull yourself into the moment again, right? Pull yourself down to earth. So that's a good one. Another one is that you use your tactile senses, okay? So another thing that you can do is really just very simple. You can just do this real quick, right? Whenever you feel yourself anxious and your leg is kind of bouncing kind of a thing, which happens to me quite a bit, just take a deep breath and just rub your fingertips together, right? You'll feel a sense of relief, a sense of grounding all of a sudden, because you'll suddenly be pulled into the moment again. This is especially good for anxiety too, by the way. If you're feeling anxious thoughts and you're worried about something, you're worried about your bills, remember, always 5 deep breaths. 5 deep breaths can be enough. Close your eyes for a minute and just feel your fingertips, all right? Or go make yourself a hot beverage. Make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or something like that. Or it can be a cold beverage, and just hold it in your hand. And just feel the temperature of that thing in your hand. Smell the aroma of it in your hand, of any food that you might be fixing for yourself. All right, if it's a bowl of soup or something, soup season is coming. Oh, I'm so happy. Hold it in your hand. Feel the warmth of it. Close your eyes. Draw in the aroma with your breath. All right. This is all about being in the moment and learning to be in the moment. Okay, and pulling yourself together, basically, because the only thing that really exists, guys, is right now, in terms of where you are, right? If you're worried about the future, guess what? You're doing it right now, and you're creating in that moment. If you're thinking or nostalgic for the past, you're doing it right now. Everything happens right here in this moment, okay? So you want to bring yourself into the moment, whatever it is you're doing. Any activity that you're going to be doing, make a conscious, deliberate decision to immerse yourself in that activity to the fullest. Get into that flow state, even if it's just doing the dishes or vacuuming or dusting. Be all about dusting. Be all about doing the dishes until they're done in that particular moment. That's a very, very great grounding technique, all right? Choose deliberately to be in every moment and in every task and be present to the fullest of your capabilities, all right? Now, another thing that you can do that I find very effective as well is to deliberately practice slowing down your movements, okay? Now, this is something very interesting that has to do also with signaling charisma, because you'll notice people that are very charismatic. Now, I don't always do this in these videos, but if you practice it, if you become more and more conscious of your your gestures, your bodily movements, right? You'll notice people that are very centered, that seem very grounded. They have a certain charisma about them, a certain kind of magnetism around them. People kind of notice them, right? And notice their body language. They tend to do things a little bit more deliberately, a little bit slower, right? They slow down their speech a little bit, right? They speak more deliberately. They take more pauses, right? They breathe, they take time to breathe, right? They scratch an itch like this, all right? Not like, okay? So think about that. Slow down your walking a little bit as you're walking down the street. Notice how you feel differently as you do that. Notice how you're much more in the moment. And notice also how you feel much more in control of yourself, much more centered, much more empowered, much more powerful in your center. All right, that's a great technique to start practicing. Just now, I'm not talking about being overly, doing this kind of slow-mo thing. That would be ridiculous. But no, what you want to do is to just deliberately, just a little bit, do everything just a little bit slower. And as you practice that, what you're doing, of course, is you're bringing your awareness into the moment of doing that, of consciously, deliberately doing that. You're not going to have time in that moment to worry about the future, to think about the past, to wonder what your specific person's doing, what are the bills going to do, all right? You're only focused on what's happening right now. How is my hand moving? I'm going to do this. I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to, pick up my pen a little bit slower. I'm going to write things down like this. I'm going to walk a little bit slower. You're pulling your awareness into the moment with any of these exercises that I mentioned. All right. And that's the idea with this. This is a thing that can help you to ground yourself, to calm yourself in the moment, and to train yourself slowly over time as you do more of these techniques and you practice them. See me speeding up again? And you practice them regularly, then you will be practicing getting yourself into receptive mode. All right? These are very valuable techniques to practice. It's a very valuable space to be in receptive mode. So this has been my first techniques video. I think I have to look back and see. I'm not even sure. I'll be honest with you guys. Sometimes people, mention videos that I did like last, March before last, or very beginning of this channel, which is going in March or something, going to be 2 years old. Woohoo! And I have 1,500 subscribers today, so thank you guys for that. But sometimes I forget, I have to go back and watch that video because it's been so long, and I've already thought about 1,000 other things in the meantime. That I have to go back and look at what I did before. So I might have done 1 or 2 techniques videos before, but in case I haven't, then this would be my first one. And in case I have, then this is my first one in a long time. So, and I'm going to try to do more of these because I'm sensing that it's important to you guys. And the emails I get, and from my coaching clients, there's a lot of questions about techniques, or rather there's like, I've been doing this technique, it hasn't been working, and I can see that they've been doing it a certain way, and they're not quite understanding how to do it effectively, or they're kind of operating on a false premise about it, and so it's slowing them down or kind of hindering them, right? So I will start a new series along these lines. That doesn't mean every other video is going to be about techniques, but I think the ones that are the most effective, that I've practiced, and as I learn new ones, I will bring them and try them out for myself, because after all, this is manifestation lab, right? Laboratory. So let's try them out and see what happens, okay? And I'll try some of them out for you and do some reviews on them. That might be a fun thing to do. Let me know in the comments, actually, if you like this kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, like I mentioned, 1,500 subscribers today I hit. Thank you so much, guys. All of you who've been subscribing. You guys are amazing. Thank you for participating in this channel, in these videos, for your awesome comments. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching, please do so now. If you want some coaching, I'm changing things up a little bit in the coaching area. I'm trying out things that I'm seeing this works better than that. So things are shifting a little bit right now, and thank you guys for bearing with me on that as well. But coaching will continue to be offered. Some things are going to be a little different. But if you're interested in that, then take a look at the link in the description box, before I say subscription box, you'll find a link to the Facebook group down there. You'll find 2 links to donate. Leave me a tip if you like these videos. There's a Cash App link and a PayPal link. And thank you guys for your tips, for your donations. I've been getting those. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's about all there is to be said about that. So try these out. You know, they're very simple. They're not sort of like your ABC, do it this way, then do it this way, take step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of stuff. But they're just things for you to begin to think about, for you to start to bring into your daily practice and your daily awareness, all right? Because grounding and being in the moment is so utterly important, and it makes manifesting ultimately so much easier. It helps build your confidence. It helps build your charisma. All right, it helps you enjoy your day-to-day life and your day-to-day moments more, because as you become more involved in your moment, any given moment, as you become more immersed in it, you're able to actually enjoy your life. Because, you know, when you sit around and worry about things and is this going to happen, and oh God, I wish I hadn't done that thing I'd done 5 years ago, or whatever it is, you're not being present, and you're missing your life as it's actually playing out right there in front of you. Okay, so learn that awareness. Become aware of your moment, of your present, of the present moment more often and regularly. Okay. All right, I've talked enough. That's an indication of that. All right, guys, until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.